What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be continuing on with these cartoon conspiracy theory videos that I've been doing. If you haven't checked out the last couple, I'll make sure I link them right here. And other than that, we're just going to get right on into it, so let's get it. Plankton got served. Now, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've already heard of lost episode theories or lost episode creepypastas. They usually involve an incredibly graphic episode that conveys such fear in children that it's never aired, though someone ends up managing to sneak a view or own one of the tapes. The most popular example is one that I actually just covered recently, Red Mist, or Squidward's unaliving himself. I'll make sure I link that somewhere above just in case. Now, Plankton Got Served is more of an example of an episode that has been heavily altered after the fact, but it still remains in circulation today. You can still watch it. This is One Course Meal from season 7, and in the episode, Mr. Krabs finds out that Plankton is actually terrified by whales and uses it to his own advantage. This is one of the least popular episodes of the show due to its dark nature, even after being heavily altered. Now, how would you have actually seen this episode before it was edited? Well, this is one of 7 SpongeBob episodes that was actually released onto the internet before it ever aired on TV. It was known as Plankton Got Served, though it was eventually changed. Now, the majority of the episode is actually identical to the one that's circulating today. Plankton basically manages to break into the Krusty Krab and ties up Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob, and he's about to finally get the secret formula which has been chasing the entire show, until Mr. Krabs' daughter Pearl walks in. This terrifies Plankton and causes him to run out. Plankton later claims that his ancestors were eaten by whales, which is true, and this is why he is terrified of them. Now, if you know anything about whales in real life, this is true. They eat plankton, so makes sense. Mr. Krabs realizes this fear that Plankton has.
Who knew Plankton was so afraid of whales?
And decides to use it against him. He dresses up as his daughter and begins to follow Plankton around, scaring him at any chance he can. Plankton decides that he can no longer take it and decides to make the ultimate decision. Yes, this is still in the show today.
What's the point of going on? I'll just be tortured for the rest of my life by that whale. That's it, I'm done.
So it shows Plankton going and waiting for the bus as he lies down in the street just waiting to get run over. This is when SpongeBob comes over to try to convince him to continue living, and where the alteration in the two versions begins. Now, Plankton fails to heed SpongeBob's words and remains there. In the altered version that was shown, SpongeBob tells Plankton that it was actually Mr. Krabs' Pearl the entire time, and he ends up getting up and going. In another altered version, SpongeBob says the same thing, but Plankton refuses to believe him. SpongeBob decides that the only thing he can do is to show him the truth is to drag Mr. Krabs outside. Soon after he leaves, the typical red bus comes speeding along. Plankton sits up and watches it hit him as everything fades to black. Now, Plankton finds himself standing on a single platform overlooking darkness. In it, he sees whales all looking up at him. There are members of his family he can faintly make out calling to him to jump. Plankton looks above and sees a light that he can scarcely believe. This would seem to represent heaven and hell, apparently. Now, some of you may say that you saw the show as soon as it was available online, but apparently not fast enough, since after seeing the episode, people described reloading the page and there was now an altered episode, not the one that they had just seen. So apparently they got on this change really quick. I don't remember seeing the one where Plankton actually dies. I do remember this exact episode though, where Mr. Krabs is basically fucking with Plankton. He's dressing up, he's scaring the shit out of him, he's following him around town like mad creepy. But let me know down below if you've seen this episode. If not, we're moving on to the next one. Alright, my bad for cutting in, but if you guys didn't know, I do run my own clothing brand. That's basically what I do outside of YouTube. That's kind of my main thing. YouTube is like, this is something I love to do, but my main thing is making clothes.
I got fucking pants in a box!
And I actually just released these gemstone hoodies. I don't know if you can kind of see them shining. Get mad close for you. But anyways, they are available on my website right now. If you do decide to buy anything, use code GLO15 and you'll get 15% off. And yeah, just appreciate y'all checking it out, watching the videos, all that shit. Not to make this too long, and let's get right back into it. The Fairly OddParent antidepressant theory. Now, one of the many theories regarding the Fairly OddParents argues that Timmy Turner's Fairly Godparents don't actually exist. Rather, they are just expressions of medication that he's taking for depression and anxiety. Cosmo and Wanda are classified as Zoloft and Prozac, and even Jordan Von Strangle and Wandissimo are believed to be other drugs named steroids and Viagra, which the Wandissimo being Viagra definitely definitely makes sense. If you've seen the show, you know this dude is horny as fuck. He is always trying to pull Wanda. He's always trying to pull something, you feel me? Now, counter to the Fairly OddParents, the anti-fairies are supposed to be hard drugs such as heroin, and the pixies are placebos since they actually can't perform magic. In one episode, Timmy was sent to Wish Rehab for over-wishing. Cosmo and Wanda had a very clear reference to a drug rehab center. And lastly, a child can wish their fairies away if they say they are happy and don't need their fairies anymore. Just like a person on antidepressants who chooses to stop taking their meds, basically not a good idea, just so y'all know. But, I mean, it does happen, and you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're not supposed to be on antidepressants forever. You know what I mean? You're supposed to do that, therapy, all that stuff. This one does have some merit. I could definitely see this one being real. There's tons of examples where they, you know what I mean, low-key kind of point towards that. I just think the funniest part is Wandissimo being Viagra. Like, I don't know, that to me makes sense. And then Jorgen von Strangle being steroids. I mean, like, come on, cuz this dude is fucking huge, bro, you feel me? Even in the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, he's fucking jacked, you feel me? So kind of makes sense. But
spicy mustard.
That one was a short one. Let me know if you agree or if you can see where they're coming from with that. But we're moving on to the last one. Hey Arnold's real parents. Like many other dark theories about cartoons, this Hey Arnold theory originated as a creepypasta, and even though it was deleted a while ago, nothing is really gone once it hits the internet. We all know this. The theory says that Arnold's grandparents, Phil and Gertie, are his real parents, and because they had him at an old age, Arnold was born with a few health conditions, like hydrocephalus, hence the shape of his head. The theory goes as far as to say that his name came from a form of hydrocephalus known as Arnold-Chiari syndrome. As a result, Arnold was bullied and had no friends, so all the characters in the series are just a product of his imagination. The theory points out that the rest of the characters also have oddly shaped heads, and that Arnold imagined them as such so he would feel more normal. The story supports itself by the fact that the location of Arnold's parents was always a mystery, and that Grandpa Phil was always coming up with different tales about them. This was finally solved in the TV movie Hey Arnold, the Jungle Movie, where Arnold is actually reunited with his parents. The theory also added that Bartlett came up with the concept of Hey Arnold after meeting a child whose two elderly adult parents who were mentally unstable and spoke about his imaginary friends and their adventures. So apparently this was all based on a actual person that the creator had met in real life at some point. Again, take all this with a entire cup of salt, cause you feel me? It's the internet, people can say whatever, but I like to think, you know what I mean? I like to have some imagination. Maybe if this is real, that'd be kind of dope. So like I said, take all this with a grain of salt, just in case. Bartlett based the character on himself, he said, as he was a daydreamer, and when he was a kid, he publicly shared that he hates this actual theory and the one about the pigeon man. So the creator has said he hates this theory that I'm talking about right now. I don't know what that exactly means. I mean, he could just hate it because it's completely fake, or he could hate it because it's like, damn, I didn't even think of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'll be hearing stuff, I'm like, damn, I wish I thought of that. Fuck. But who knows? I'm just gonna take it as this is not what he was kind of thinking when he made the show, and Bartlett has said himself that he was basing Hey Arnold off of him and his imagination and what he thought about his life, I guess. So where'd this theory even come from? This theory originated after the series failed to explain what actually happened to Arnold's parents, something Bartlett and company were ready to reveal when the series was suddenly canceled, leaving a ginormous plot hole for years. Hey Arnold surely has a ton of weird characters with equally weird backstories, but they're all a product of just Bartlett's harmless imagination and the writers, not some dark, twisted experiences, at least if you're listening to the creator of the show. Now, like I said, they had tons of weird characters, weird experiences. I think my favorite is probably either the Ghost Train one, if you ever seen that episode, or Stoop Kid. Stoop Kid was like this fucking weird living legend and shit, but he's like literally just a dude that sits on the stairs all day, you feel me? Like, I don't know. Hey Arnold was a fire show. I always wish I had his bedroom back then. But let me know what you think of these theories. Like I said, take all these with a giant grain of salt. The only one that I kind of believe a little bit is the Timmy Turner one, you know what I mean? But even then, I still don't see exactly how that lines up. Maybe just the Wandissimo being Viagra because he's horny. If you haven't checked out all the other episodes I've done about this stuff, I'll link them right here. If you want to cop a sweater or check out what else I make, I'll link that down below somewhere. And yeah, stay safe, stay dangerous, get laid. I'll see y'all soon. Love you. Deuces.